everyone. Mrs. Jenkins. It's Friday, and I like to do fun things on Friday. We might have to do a little bit of work, but I like to keep Friday fun. If we were in the classroom, we would be going to the Friday flag. A lot of times there's assemblies on Fridays. We'll do art on Fridays. So we're going to do some art today. I'm very excited. I'm coming to you live from my kitchen because the lighting is just so much better. I have a skylight up there in my kitchen and it makes it nice and bright, okay? So let me show you what I did is I set up on my countertop, I set up some paint. Okay, let me go a little bit closer and come down. I might have to adjust that, but you see my rainbow fish books? I set them up. So on last Friday, I read on our group Zoom, I read the original rainbow fish book. You can see how beautiful rainbow fish is, and he learned how to make friends, right, by sharing. And then I am going to read this book today. If you're watching this before the Zoom, I'm telling you the secret. If not, then you already know because I get to read it to you. Sorry about that. And then I have the same books, the little board books. There's another one called Rainbow Fish to the Rescue. Right? So now what we get to do today, if you guys probably saw the rainbow fish coloring page in your folder. I believe it was in the red homework folder, the plastic one, right? And I hadn't given you instructions yet, but some kids did go ahead and they colored it. It's okay. Go ahead and watch this lesson because you might be able to paint over the top of that. Okay, so I'm going to show you what it looks like when it's all done. I took this out of that memory book. This was a student I had who ended up moving away. And I glued it. See, we cut it out and I glued it onto this paper that says, "We read The Rainbow Fish, a story about sharing and friendship." And this was from August 2018. We always do this the first few weeks of school because it's such a great story, again, about sharing and friendship. Okay, but what we have the kids do first is we have them take their white paper with the rainbow fish, and we made this on cardstock, so it's a little bit thicker, and we have them color it. But like, really look, parents, okay? We didn't color the whole fish, right? I colored the lips, and I looked at the book. Look, see how his lips are kind of orange? And then these are the scales. Okay, these are the scales. Now, this is a little bit different than it is in the book, but I just took my rainbow colors because that's what I love to do. I love rainbows. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and then I use magenta and pink, and then I started over. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, whoops, blue, purple, magenta, pink, red, orange. And then I also traced over on the fins. There's some lines, okay? And then I also went over this. And then this is really important. I did color inside the eye. You might not be able to see the crayon, but I did use a black for that, and then I put some white around it. That's really important because we're doing what's called a crayon resist. We're going to be painting with watercolors. If you don't put that crayon there, that white crayon, then you're just going to paint over the top of the eye. And it's all right. It still turns out, but it looks better if you do it this way. I'm going to get this down so you can see it. All right, I'm using watercolors today. Parents, again, if you don't have watercolors, I completely understand, but watercolors are way, way, way less expensive. They're very reasonable, and you can get them anywhere. You can get them at Walmart, at Target, at an art store. These were probably, I'm guessing, maybe even 99-cent store for 99 cents, but, you know, probably $2 or $3. Okay, this is a brand new set that I brought home from school. When they're brand new, what I like to do, there's the rainbow colors, of course, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. There's black and brown. I put a little piece of tape over there. It was a little gauze tape, only because when we usually do this in a group, you know, there might be 6, 7, 8 kids in a group and they all get their own little watercolor sets. If they use a black and brown, it doesn't look like a rainbow fish anymore. Okay, it kind of looks like dirty water, like a big puddle. It's not very pretty. So I always cover those up for the kids. Now, if parents, if you're standing right there, you could just tell them not to use them, right? Okay, now when you first start to use the watercolors, you need water, okay? Because look, I could put my finger on there and it almost feels like plastic. It doesn't even feel like paint. Okay, they're dry. So what you do is you have to kind of put a little water in there first. And then every time you change colors, I'm not even going to paint yet, I'm just going to show you. Every time you change colors, you've got to rinse your brush off. So I'm going to go ahead and add some water. I'll probably have to add more, but just to show you. And don't worry about that water. It might get dirty, but it's still just, and I'm just using the brush that's inside of here. At school, we have some nicer brushes. I probably would use those, but I didn't bring one home, so I'm just using these, and I hope it's gonna work, right? All right, now I'm ready. Now, it's totally up to you. What you're gonna do is you're gonna paint your rainbow fish, okay? But the paint will not stick to the crayon because the crayon has wax in it, like a candle. So it's called a crayon resist. The wax in the crayon will resist the paint. And so you'll still get it. One thing I forgot is I forgot to put a couple of tissue here, but I do have paper towels pretty close. I'll show you why in a minute. All right, so when I look at the rainbow fish, when you really look at him on the book, this whole thing is blue, isn't it? So I think I'm gonna go ahead and paint that blue because this blue is really pretty. So I'm gonna use my blue and I'm gonna paint. Now watch, I can paint right over the top of the lips and right over the top of the eye, but the crayon is going to resist the paint, okay? So I'm gonna do the whole head blue. Now you don't have to. If you saw that sample that I showed you, that child, that student did not choose to do it. And a lot of times they'll say, oh, you didn't want to do that blue? No, I wanted to make it pink, and that is okay. It doesn't have to look like the one in the book, because remember, Rainbow Fish shared his scales at the end, right? And so there were a lot of other fish too. Maybe you want to make another fish. Now that turned out really good. But so you don't have to worry about painting out of the lines, because when it's dry, we are going to cut it out. And I'm going to run over here and get a paper towel. Parents, if we go back to school, I don't want to say yet, but when we go back to school, this is something I'd like to put in their memory book. So I want you can decorate. You could decorate your little office or desk area, or hang it on your refrigerator if you have a magnet. But when we go back to school, I would like these back because they're going to go in the kids' memory books, along with the circle art, if you were able to do that, and some other things, okay? All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do all rainbow colors. I'm going to go ahead and start with red. Looks like that one's kind of dry, so I'm going to add some water. And I think I'm going to move the camera because I'm right-handed, and I think that needs to go this direction here. Okay. Excuse me. I'm going to wet down the red. Start with red, and I'm just going to paint. Ooh, I am not sick at all. I just have a little tickle. Alrighty. So I'm just going to do kind of stripes. I'm going to go red here, and then I'll wash my brush, and let's put a little orange on it. Remember, this is your beautiful rainbow fish, so you can be creative and do whatever you want here. This is very fun for Fun Friday, isn't it? And I know a lot of you love to do art. Okay, I'm going to move on to yellow. I've got to add some more water because it sort of dried up there while we were talking. Okay, a little bit more yellow. Okay, and they're very light color, pastel color, because you add the water to it. It's way different than tempera paint. My mother-in-law is a real artist. She has sold paintings. She's had paintings in galleries. And she went home. I would have loved to have her here. I can imagine what her rainbow fish would look like. Probably absolutely beautiful, but I love mine too. Okay, I'm going to add more. Yeah, I'm not crazy about this brush. If you have a better brush, you can use it, but it's all right. All right, now I'm just going to put a little bit of blue since I already have blue in the head. And then I'm going to go purple. And we used all the colors, didn't we? Mix a little bit more. And then you decide what color you want the fins, okay? I think I really like orange. So I think I'm going to make this one orange. Remember, I don't have to worry about going out of the lines. And let's make a red one down here. And I'm going to make a yellow one. And then I'll make a green one. Oh, and let's see, since I like purple, I'm going to do this whole tail purple. Okay, and then you just have to let it dry. I bet if you put this outside, it would probably dry in just a few minutes. I'm not going to. We're going to pretend mine is dry because now there's one more little step. Let it dry. Your parents can cut it out. You can hang it up on your fridge. You can send a picture to your grandma and say, hey, look what we did today in kindergarten. In distance learning, Mrs. Jenkins was teaching from her kitchen. Hey, I got an idea. Maybe we can do a cooking lesson sometime. I love to cook. All right, then Mom and Dad can probably do that. with you. All right, so here we go. I'm trying to get the whole thing in there. I might have to back this up a little bit. Isn't that pretty? It's beautiful. Now remember the rainbow fish story? Rainbow fish started out with a whole bunch of really shiny scales. Take a look at the scales here. Aren't they shiny and shimmery? But when the little blue fish came at first, the little blue fish asked for a scale, and the rainbow fish said, "Me share my scales with you? No way, Jose." And he swam away, right? Okay, but then all the other fish didn't want to be his friend because he didn't share. Then he talked to the wise octopus, and the octopus said, "Well, you know what? Why don't you share? If you share, it'll make you feel good." So he did. So in the classroom, we either let them take one, and by the time he was done sharing, he only had one. Okay, so he wasn't the most beautiful fish in the sea anymore, but he had friends. So he was the happiest fish in the sea, right? So what we do is some years I've had them put glitter. They can choose the one they want, and they put a little glue and they put glitter on there. And then one year I found, it's kind of like a shiny iridescent, like wrapping paper. Okay, and I've actually found ribbon before, and I've used that. And so I cut a scale out of that. I didn't have either of those because I'm at my house. So guess what I did have? I bet everybody has this. It's a piece of tin foil, and it's all kind of crumpled up because I just had a little piece, a leftover piece that I was using last night, and I had extra. So I used my scissors, and I cut out kind of a horseshoe, sort of looks like the letter U. And I'm going to just decide, you can use it wherever. I think I'm going to cover this one up right here. All right, the paint's still a little wet, and I'm going to glue the shiny scale. Ooh, that works really good. And now here's our rainbow fish with his one shimmery, shiny scale. Okay, so he's not the most beautiful fish in the ocean anymore, but he's the happiest because he has lots of friends and because he's learned how to share. So that is the art project, and thank you for watching. I hope that you do, and I cannot wait to see your pictures, okay? All right, bye-bye, everybody.